This is episode one of my new podcast titled Out of the Red. Now, the reason why I'm starting this podcast is because I have a beautiful boy. His name is Zion Avery Lynn. And as a parent, I was deeply impacted by the recent killing at the daycare center in Thailand. Now, being a parent and hearing about this kind of information is something that broke my heart. It broke my heart. And the news is usually terrible. And I want to say something that makes a difference so that my son can live in a safer world. Because here's the truth: you need to ammo up. Guns save people's lives. If there was a good person at that daycare facility with a gun, maybe those children would have been alive today. But because of the stigma against guns, it prevents people from actually being saved. Now, I don't know all of the gun laws in Thailand or really anywhere except in California where gun laws are terrible. But here's one of my main messages: carry a gun legally, okay? Carry a gun and buy a lot of ammo because there's a lot of bad people in this world. And I don't know how to prepare my son for this crazy world. There's nuclear war, there's killings every day, massacres, mass shootings. I'm terrified as a parent because the only thing that matters to me in this world is my son. He has given me a new reason to live, a new reason to wake up in the morning and feel energized about the day. He is so beautiful. And I could go on and on about how beautiful he is and how much I love him. And I will. I'll keep going on about it. But I digress. What I want to say is ammo up. Here's the fact. China hates you. China is coming, and China is already here. It's China America. And here's the thing: China hates you because you're not Chinese, because I'm not Chinese. There's already a war going on. It's called cyber war. Cyber attacks by China and North Korea are happening on a daily basis in the United States. And the sad state of the United States is that it's now become a police state. I saw something on the news about how a pro-life protester is being targeted by the FBI. It's disgusting. I don't know what else I can do but express myself that this war that's going on, multiple wars, there's the cyber wars, which is not being publicized. There's not enough people bringing attention to the fact that we are at war. World War III has begun. It just has been suppressed. It hasn't been publicized. It hasn't been properly given the forum that it needs to have to be recognized as a world war. The entire world is at war, besides Russia and Ukraine, which is a topic I would like to talk about at some point. The real democracy is not the United States anymore. I want to applaud France and India as the new democracies of the world. The United States is practically over. I'm a proud patriot. I love America, but I hate what it's become. I hate the cancel culture. I hate the police state that we live in, the censorship, the cancel culture. The censorship is un American because America was founded on free speech values. That amendment of free speech is so powerful because that's what separated us from virtually every other country. And today, in so many places, like China and Iran, especially Iran, the censorship by the government is so astronomical that their societies are beginning to implode. And I don't know if this footage will ever reach some of those people there that need to hear it, but you need to be strong if you're living in China under communist censorship rule. And in Iran, which is a terrorist regime running the country, a terrorist clergy who vows to destroy Israel at every given turn, and how the Biden administration can even think to do an Iran nuclear deal and give billions of dollars to the Iranians is nonsense. I'm a pissed off Republican dad. And this is my message. You need to hear it because politicians, you guys are effing it up. You guys have screwed everything up in America. Now, there's bad politicians on the Republican side and on the Democrat side. I'm not only against Democrats, but I am against Democrats. Don't get me wrong. There are some terrible, terrible Republicans. Let me name a few. Mitt Romney is a disgrace to the Republican Party. Adam Kinzinger, terrible Republican. Liz Cheney, boy, horrible Republicans. Thank God for Tulsi Gabbard, who just switched parties because she's fed up with the Democrats, the liberals, who have ruined America. Republicans generally have not ruined America. Republicans are the new punk rock, the new party of freedom, because of a very simple fact. Republicans are fighting for free speech. It's the Democrats, it's the libs who are fighting to censor. And those libs are giving power to places like China and Iran and North Korea. But North Korea is much smaller of a threat, in my opinion, than China or Iran. Even though North Korea is a threat. But I miss the Trump era. I miss the Trump era where Trump reached out to Kim Jong-il and told him he had a bigger button on his desk. That's the kind of strength that we need in America. And how Trump was tough on China. And how Trump was censored. Trump is going to win in 2024. I'm a huge Trump fan. I'm a Trump fan for life. And I'm just pissed off at both parties. There is such division in the country. And it's not all the Democrats' fault. Again, I want to hold people accountable. I want to praise some great Republicans. I love Matt Gaetz, Ron DeSantis, great Republicans, Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz. These are free speech crusaders. These are patriots that love their country. I love Marco Rubio. What a smart, smart man. I don't agree with everything that he said, including that he said to go get vaccinated today. I believe in natural immunity, and I'll tell you why. Because I have natural immunity. And you know how I know that is because my wife is a nurse in the intensive care unit at the University of California, Irvine. And guess where she works? In the COVID unit. She is mandated to get vaccinated, which I think is atrocious. Although she would still choose to get the vaccine anyways, and I respect her decision, even though we've had fights about that. But here's how I'll tell you that I have natural immunity. I haven't gotten the vaccine. And I'm alive today. I don't believe I've ever had COVID. But my wife has been in direct contact with COVID patients all the time. And I pick her up from work every time she works. And she's a hero. My wife is a hero and a first responder. My wife has saved thousands of people's lives. She is a true saint and has given so much of her life to helping other people. And I'm just really proud of you, sweetheart, if you're listening. You're my hero. And I'm doing this show for her as well, because she's given me such a beautiful boy. I'm so grateful. And again, I'm so terrified of the world that we've brought our son into, because the world is upside down, it's backwards. You know, just the other day, Russia launched the Poseidon submarine, and it has 6 nuclear bombs on the submarine, and it's somewhere in the Arctic. And you know what? That's terrifying, because, in my opinion, the Biden administration has launched a proxy war against Russia. And for people that don't know what a proxy war is, it means essentially fighting a war on somebody else's behalf or funding a war against another country. So the Biden administration has given to date $54 billion to Ukraine. Now, what does that do with our relations to Russia? It simply puts a terrible wedge between the Americans and the Russians. And that's the last thing the world needs. The world needs the two superpowers to come together, for Russia and the United States to be friends. Wouldn't that be a great world? That's what Trump said. He said, why do we have to fight with Russia all the time? That's why I love Trump, because he had this out of the box thinking. Like, come on, nobody needs to be enemies, especially with Russia. I don't agree with a lot of Russian politics and also the censorship in Russia. No place is perfect. But again, I will applaud India and France. Again, those are the new democracies. India is badass. I love India. And France as well. These places are beacons of hope in the world, beacons of democracy and freedom. Again, the United States has become a police state. I'm so disappointed in that, because more than ever, this is the time to have free speech and to be able to express one's views without the fear of being canceled or censorship. This is the time when there should be no proxy war by the United States. What a disappointment. And it's not like we don't need the money here at home. $54 billion. This is not our war. That's not our fight. But for some reason, the United States thinks it's our responsibility to go and fund a war for Ukraine against Russia, which makes the United States the enemy of Russia, and rightfully so. It's unfortunate, but the United States made us an enemy of Russia. Why? For another country that was originally part of Russia in the Soviet Union. Whether you like Putin or hate Putin, he was always very clear about his intentions to reunite the Soviet Union. And that was pretty much before I was born. However, I was born in 1985, and that was around the Reagan era, which is when the wall in Berlin came down and the Soviet Union collapsed. But originally, Ukraine was part of Russia. And Russia's not going to stop. No matter what, in my opinion, Russia is going to probably win. They are 3 times the size of Ukraine. Elon Musk is right. Elon, if you're listening to this, I love you, man. You're a hero of mine. You're a hero of humanity. You're striving to do better, to push humanity to the next level. I know you get a lot of flack, and I'm just proud of you. You're a great man. There's some great people in this world. You know, I have a philosophy that most people are inherently good. I think there's only really a few bad apples on the planet. But those few bad apples really screw it up for everybody. And I'm going to keep my first episode kind of short and sweet tonight because I need to go pick up my son. He's waiting for me. So, till then, thanks for tuning in. See you next time.